Yo, 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 welcome back. We've got some familiar faces across the board. Obviously, myself and Darth Mike, right? But then we've got Havu and Movsitar Riders, who we've seen already this evening. And then
Yeah.
we've got Train. So familiarity all across the board. However, Movsitar Riders are hoping to kind of change things up a little bit because otherwise, I feel like it's not going to go so well for them. They did not have a good showing on the T side, which is where they're starting of this very same map about 10 minutes ago. So, yeah, something's got to change for the Spaniards for sure.
I think they need to crack a Mountain Dew amp game fuel and get that charge going. Get their accuracy improved. That is a nice way to get started. Soaker grabs the first kill, so maybe a chance here. But as we saw previously, Movistar weren't prepared enough to deal with Tricked, especially once the half switch came through. Their T side was lackluster. We'll see if they've got the T side to match. And meanwhile, Havu super effective in their own game against Prosto. So let's see what happens here. A couple quick picks. The Deagle working out as well. Soaker now with 2 notches on the butt of that little hand cannon. See what they can find. Here's a pick back for Dodo. He was very good previously on Train, and they are going to take this IV control, but that's just allowed the remainder of the T's to come back in through sight, and Soaker has done his job. He's delayed enough time. They've actually switched to inner instead. They walked all the way through A and said, you know what? We don't have to do this. They're both at Ivy. Let's just take B and then sit here. It's planted way out in the open. This is going to be a really tough retake for Saw and Hoodie to get done. They're going to try, but you just don't fancy the chances, especially with 2 gun barrels pointed at them as soon as they come out Z. Just the one, apparently. Mopa's super passive. Back in towards spawn. That one was close, but still the CTs know that they're outnumbered and overrun. Hoodie, now all alone, doesn't have a kit either, so this is kind of a hopeless situation. It's going to try for a little something, but there's still a player upper B who's going to tag him down. He will actually get that last frag. Nice quick shot onto deaths, but it's going to be all you can say for him. It will be Movistar Riders taking the pistol, and considering what a battering they just took on Train, I would say that taking this pistol is a great psychological victory to just hit that mental reset button and get this one going.
Yeah, and something a bit different with the Deagle in there. It's, for me, it feels like Movistar Riders all over, going for that super aggressive, big hitting hand cannon, as you like to say, and it really works out perfectly for them. And yeah, if they can come into it with this brash kind of confidence, almost overconfidence in places, it could be really good for them. However, Havu, no easy feat. No easy feat on one of their most comfortable maps, and a map that they've done well on so far this evening. But yeah, it's just kind of hitting the reset button across the board, I think. Movistar Riders don't let the last game affect them, and then Havu, in the same strain, can't let their victory earlier on affect them too much. If they start feeling like, everything they're going to do is going to go the same way, they might end up hitting kind of a brick wall, not really having much of an answer, and falling behind themselves. So we'll see. It's still really early days yet. I always kind of put it down. I mean, when there's a Deagle in there, it's a little bit different, but sometimes, that T-side pistol can be a little random with the Glock spam and whatnot. And, it got to a point in that round where, sure, it was a 3-on-2, but it's like, yeah, but this is over. They don't have a kit, and, they don't have any information. They can't really fight against the Glocks up close. So, still hedging my bets, but Movistar Riders come out swinging, right? They're not looking deflated. They're not looking defeated. Not got their minds on that loss earlier on, which is good. It's good signs, for sure.
Definitely. The only real threat in this round is going to be that scout. I'll actually drop the Deagle over to Zori instead. Saw opting to go for the Zeus and the P250. Where's the Zeus going to play? I'm just going to be watching Saw Cam for a little bit here. Looks like he's going to be holding that B ramp with the Zeus, which is bold, because if they rush down, you get one, but you're definitely getting killed by the second if you don't have your gun out. It's a bit of a bold play. It does have Zori there for at least support. Soka's already found a pick out of T-Con. Looks like it's just going to be the full execute out on towards A. Utility sealing over. It's really just slowy. You can do much of anything about this. Hoodie's going to be trying to reach out and touch somebody at range with the scout, but don't think it's going to happen. Peppering a few shots here, just trying to get lucky. Oh, might just find the shot onto Easter. That's some damage done, but not the frag. And now Easter knows. Can't quite expose himself to that angle. This should just about be the round. It's just about doing some damage, maybe costing some money here. The scout out of play, likely unretrievable. Saw will get something going. Not with the Zeus, but with the PC-50. And at this point, you don't fancy his chances. Someone's probably going to try and run him down. He's expecting the boost up. Look at this read from Saw. They're not going to do it, but if it had worked out, that would be beautiful. And he just wants the Zeus. Not really for any particular benefit, for that psychological victory of, hey, I just tased you.
Quite close to this bomb here. Might want to start backing off. Des was sticking around for a little while, but yeah, Saw just going to take what he's got into the next round, mainly that armor, and, you know, that's $1,000 in the green, so he'll be relatively happy with that. Might be able to drop across an AWP or even go for the secondary AWP, I guess, because Zori goes straight in for it. We have seen how much they like to go for that, but this time around, not going to immediately pull it out. Opting instead for the 4 rifles, just the 1 AWP. No kit! Saw, can you buy a kit, mate? Can we not do this? Oh.
They don't do kits. They don't do retakes aren't in their philosophy. Either they win on the initial or, hey, try next time. That is actually a massive misstep, though. There's no real deficit to doing it. He has 800 in the pocket. 1 kit makes all the difference, just having it available on the bomb site. But they're not going to. They just want to give you anxiety.
Yeah, I just want to worry myself and all the Havu fans out there watching currently.
There are always those moments as a caster where you're just watching it, you're like, oh, he's made the mistake, he's made an error that just gives you anxiety. I was once on a LAN where a player forgot to buy armor for 5 rounds in a row and somehow never got fragged in that time. And it became the thing we were watching through the games. I mean, it was a very one-sided game, so that was the most interesting part of it. But he literally made it through 5 rounds without buying armor and just had no idea. Because I asked him afterwards, it wasn't an intentional choice. He literally never considered a possibility.
Yeah, it happens, man, when all that pressure's on. You know, and especially if you use binds to buy up, you feel like you've hit the binds. Either way, down Pop Dog. A little better from Movsitar Riders. We saw how messy it was in the previous game. They managed to open up here. We'll be traded back relatively quickly, but, you know, Mopod's picking up essentially a kill and a half because of how low he leaves Slowy. And yeah, it makes for an easy trade, but then an easier trade, you know, just seems to be players all over the place to make sure that no frag goes untraded. Sorry. Almost taken down through the smoke, but not quite. The plant going to come in, meanwhile, with 10 seconds to spare, very quickly over towards the B bomb site. There's this huge flank coming in from Death, though, that could make all the difference right now. And this is where the lack of the kit will also make a difference, right? So we'll see. You never know. It could be all the difference. Oh, no. Death manages to get the knife in on the back end of things as well. And now they have 2 avenues of attack to deal with. Out comes Soka, deals with 1, deals with the second. And the lack of kit doesn't make a difference because Movsitar Riders are looking crisp right now. 4th round in a row for them.
What a change. And the best part for Movsitar Riders, I think the most optimistic note, is that their first pick came towards ladder and was decisive, right? They then get flanked out ladder, but you can't really predict that quickly. It was a bold play up B ramp. Still, just the fact that they won the ladder duel is such a refreshing change of pace for them from last map, where it felt like Roach was just had their number every time they even got near the ladder. Every time they even thought about it, he was going to get a pick. So, this time that's another complexity they can deal with in the game. That's a big pick to find. It was the 1 SMG available, but he is out of the round early on. He has knocked Mopaz down to 15 health, but it may not much matter. They're waiting for that fast flank for Dodo. He's looking to do a little something here, and if they test him, they might find ladder once again expensive, but they've learned their lesson. They're jumping utility instead of just taking the dry fight, and that is a big change. Could completely change this T side. Now they can start to group up and hit towards B. Saul might catch somebody coming around the corner, but you just don't imagine he manages to get 2. Actually, has support from Zori now. This could be a good setup. It's not a bad idea. I actually like what they want to do here. Problem is they're just not quite close enough to make that machine pistol as effective as it could be. The deep peek from Zori. That's huge. 1 can fall away. Gets the smoke to boot. He's going to drop it to secure his spot. But the pick outer means that they just don't have to deal with him whatsoever. They can keep him arm's length, take the bomb towards A, get a bomb plant, and make this work. It's up to Dodo. Smoked out, goes out with the deagle, tries to make a hero play happen. Not going to happen. This should be a 5th on the board for Movsitar. Zori just going to try and do a little bit of economic damage here, and he'll catch an off bullet to the face instead. So 4 alive. Nice 5th round for Movsitar. They're doing quite well here, especially with some of the issues that we saw in the first half. It's clearly they've had a conversation about some of the things that went wrong in that first game. And they said, all right, here's what we're changing. Here's how we're adapting. And early results are positive.
Such a shame, isn't it? I feel like if Zori had committed to that play, he may well have found a couple more and gotten himself a bit of a highlight reel. Probably traded in the end, but all the same. Either way, this is where it counts. Oh, great flick coming in from Estor. Talked about how hit and miss he could be. It seems he had a miss in the previous game. We'll see whether he can get the hit, the 50-50 in terms of the win percentages. But again, traded back, being kept interesting and close. A lot of damage done onto eStore because he ran through a molly to find the opening pick. So definitely doable for the CTs. Only the one player over on that B bomb site for now, and in all honesty, the rest of the Havu players are quite far away. Sure, the rotations can be quick, but it all obviously depends on where you're stood. And it looks like the bomb is going to be making its way over towards the B bomb site in the end. Hoodie holding the angle, going to take out Mopos, Molotov in hand, not respecting at all where Hoodie could be. That could be huge. The flash will come in. It looks like the bomb plant is definitely going to be possible, but the double spray down is clean from Hoodie, runs out of ammo, and Alex has actually not gotten the plant down. He's not going to be ready for this Molotov either. Leaves him in a really difficult spot at the moment. He's trying to push forwards. Oh, goodness, this could be huge. However, he has to act. He has to find the first, and that gives his position away. That makes for an easy trade, and a little dicey towards the end. But Havu will get their first round on the board.
We saw this a couple times in the previous game as well from Movsitar, where they would have control of the bomb site, but they wanted to get that pick before they got the bomb down. And that's an issue, right? They have the money in this round to compensate for it. It's not a huge deal that they lost the opportunity from that bomb plant. But going down the road, it may come back to bite them. Death has 8K at this point after the buy, so they're all right for the time being. But look for that to maybe be a bit of an Achilles heel to come back again, because that is a trend that hasn't been corrected from last time. Frequently, you'll see teams, as soon as they have control of inner, they're just hitting that bomb down as soon as possible to put that timer pressure on the CTs. And Movsitar, they don't do it. They go for the picks, they go for the fight before considering punching in the numbers. Look at this spot from Mopaz. He's so far forward. I don't think they have any idea that he's worked his way all the way around towards hell. There's a smoke down, but they're not looking for it. If he goes through the smoke, he could absolutely upset the apple cart. He's cleared. There's no Ivy presence here. If they come back to the angle, he's actually kind of given them an opportunity, but it's allowing them to sneak all the way towards Old Bomb. Slowly gets a pick, but he's a man behind enemy lines. I don't know that they're aware that he could be here. Dodo's been spotted. So much information. He's going to go for this interplay instead. And if this works out, that's going to be a free bomb site for his team. And it is indeed. Is he going to get the knife? Oh, he's going for it. No way. So much information here. He's actually may have lost the opportunity. He's tracking the head. Now he's stopped him with his body, and there's the kill coming through. Hoodie was being tracked like an animal for so long that round. Now this should certainly be a bomb plant. And they are going to punch in the numbers. Not going to delay this time around. And they got even numbers with forward positions in the post plant. I'm not sure how we even want to go for this. I think they're just going to play exits and bottle them up.
Super low HP bars, honestly, and no utility to work with. Although, does appear... No, okay, decides against it. So is creeping forwards. Maybe trying to find a little cheeky exit, but nothing coming his way. So, Movsitar Riders bouncing back very quickly indeed. And looking good. They've not changed up too much. I think they're playing, you know, very much the same style as they were against Tricked. However, I think Tricked also play this super aggressive T side. So kind of was savvy to the way that it should be played against, if that makes sense. And that's why I think Movsitar Riders got so dominated. Meanwhile, Havu, I think, are coming in a little bit with this sort of syndrome where they're feeling... just do what we did before and it'll be fine, but it's not quite the same because Prosto were fast and almost foolishly aggressive. You know, that fine line between idiocy and courage kind of seemed to come in a little bit in places from them. Meanwhile, Movsitar Riders are a little more structured across the board. We have seen, you know, as you mentioned, not getting the bomb down maybe and things like that. They can jump the gun a bit early. And it costs them, but at the moment it's only cost them one round, so it's not massively detrimental. And again, we saw it in the previous game where Roge was able to do it. Alex seems to have taken a leaf out of his book and just creeping in, catching one player off guard, catching another player off guard. What has happened here, Havu? The communication seems to have broken down. However, they're going to find two very quick frags outside. What is going on? Hoodie as well is also getting one. It's being kept kind of even, but I feel like the round had no right in coming this close. Slowy is very low indeed, so a lot of this is going to be off the back of Hoodie. Oh, going to get caught with a molly in hand, though, and yeah, the final frag will come through easily enough for death, so it's kind of close. But again, as we've seen across the course of the evening, Movsitar Riders are the team that are in control, that have that lead, that are controlling the pace in in most of these rounds. So, yeah, and this is surprising. This is surprising. I could have seen them
Very
bouncing
surprising.
back, sure, but this is so dominant.
And it's interesting. They're leaving a lot of space towards T-Con. That's something that Movsitar is exploiting. In the previous round, 2 rounds ago, that was where Mopaz just went on his walkabout. Walked out T-Con, walked all the way through the Ivy smoke, goes all the way back through CT spawn into the inner site, and gets a flank on there. And this has happened last round as well. A player got forward. This time it got checked out towards Hell instead of all the way back through B site. But still, they're allowing players out T-Con. They're allowing this leak out. That round was just instantaneous. Doesn't frankly matter. Movistar just swept it aside, put the 8th on the board. But at this point, 8 rounds on your T side already before you get much of an answer from Havu. They take the 1 round, but that's it. This is looking like a bit of a catastrophe, and the bank is insane for the Ts. So at this point, Havu's going to have to fight for their lives just to survive. They take a pause here, and that's critical. This is where they need the pause. Whatever bang-up round they've got, double op, whatever they need, this is the round to bring it out. Because if you can't win this, if this continues to go against you, this is hopeless. If Movistar gets to double digits, it's all over. I don't care what you can do in your second half. This is all over. Double op's going to be out here. Slowy does have the second. That's what we needed to see. Interestingly, Saw goes to the SMG and utility, picks up a kit for the squad. Could have definitely gotten the rifle. They will have kits here, though, to assuage your anxiety. Make this a little bit easier for you. I'm very surprised by Saw's choice. Could have at least gotten a FAMAS here. Goes for the MP9. I'm going to guess he'll play ladder room with this.
Yeah,
Maybe
was
not.
just about to kind of interject, and surely he's got plans for it. Still a close angle towards Sandwich. He's really unsure if you're watching that mini-map. He's been in 2 or 3 different spots. Now going to move to B, where Mopaz, bit aggro, bit too aggro maybe. We'll see what the rest of the boys can get done. And Soccer will trade one back. Alex manages to put a stop to Doto, but yeah, Slowly's still alive on this AWP, doing damage, just peeking out, finding the frags. I'm pretty sure he spotted E-Store there as well in the lane hitter, and there's a smoke in the way. He's trying his best to get it through the smoke, though. He knows that E-Store is around. They both do. However, up high, it should be an easy enough frag. For Saw or no? They actually don't know where he's gone. He's slipped through the cracks somehow, and he'll manage to pick up Slowy. So a little bit of damage towards the end, but Movistar Riders going with a classic, you know, after a pause, let's rush in. It kind of seemed like they weren't really together on it, though. They weren't really sure. There was, you know, one player who went B, one player who was above ladder room, and yeah, just a very messy kind of push, and some of those issues that they had in the previous game rearing their ugly heads again in that round, and it's given a bit of a chance for Havu to close the gap.
Might just be here. The double up gets saved as well, which is critical. There's still going to be the limitation of the SMG, though. At this point, it seems like it's almost a deliberate choice from Saw. So, kind of curious about how that one's playing out. He did retrieve the AWP in the last one, opting for the utility instead of the firepower. And this is the change-up. Dodo's just going to be holding. He's not quite doing what Raj was doing in the last round, where you're just staring straight up the ladder and trying to catch the pick right off the bat. So Movistar have a little bit more space to work with here towards the ladder. It also means he's not as quick on the flank, though certainly still an option. And here's where they hit the brakes. Movistar are going to let this one play out a little bit, going to let this clock wind down a smidge, and see what Havu's going to do. We saw in the previous map, when they started to let the clock wind down, they had a tendency to completely forget about the clock and let it expire. That happened twice last game. Hasn't happened yet, but keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on whether that's going to come back to haunt them again. Ladder room will at least be secured. Dodo has to give up a little bit of space, but the molly doesn't quite push him out of it. If they want to go for the drop, that is definitely still an option. He's going to drop the smoke as well to allow him space. Flash down. They want to go for the drop. They certainly do. They are going to go for it. Dodo playing on the edge of the smoke. This is so tricky. He finds it. Spamming through. That's Mopaz dropped. And it's a pick that's completely unanswerable. Alex is going to try and find it, but we might see the Suncross Fallacy coming back through here. No, he does have it. Timing working out now. The take is on, but everybody's here from the CTs, and the fast flank is coming through ladder room for Saul. He wants it, but the kills not necessarily working out for Havu. Here's Zori, though, with the op. Going to take things in hand. Going to find this round. 3 kills now, and the trade available for Slowy. That second op should be retrievable once more. These rounds have been close, but Havu, they're pulling them out. They needed to. They needed this. They're not able to get their economy at all healthy, but they've at least finally whittled down that insane bank from Movistar. There's finally going to be some cracks in it in this round, and they have a chance to make a real go of it here on the CT side.
Yeah, I really got a feel for Mopaz on that one. He does everything right, you know, moving down the ladder silently, just a random spam to really open the door there for Havu. It's just the way it be sometimes. Doto, though, looking good in these past couple of rounds. Will take down Alex as they pushed out, not really accounted for the E-box position. No one really watching it either. Bits of damage being traded back through the smoke here, but ultimately it is Havu with a pretty hefty lead to begin with, and definitely bouncing back in the past few rounds. Gaining a bit of momentum back. It is still a relatively monumental hill to climb, but all the same, it's something. It is a closing of the gap, at least for now. But if Movistar Riders are able to get, you know, their momentum back, if they're able to swing it back in their favor, then suddenly this half starts to look very, very bad indeed. It's already kind of bad with a lowercase b. It could quite easily become bad with a capital B, though. We'll see. B burst. Lots of B's involved in the past few moments. Oh, this is about to get interesting as well. I think as this smoke's going down, they're going to come through. They'll take down one. Flash comes in.
No.
It's not good enough, though. Soka, he's not blind at all. Not blind at all, and he will find the return frag. That'll allow for the bomb plant to go down. However, going to be difficult here. They're not able to get into decent post plants. There's a flank coming in, but they're a bit unsure of, you know, the timing on it. Eastor, it's going to be all down to him. Ultimately, the flash in to try and facilitate the cross from Soka, not going to happen. And he's still now the only one left. He does have the molly. Anything is possible. The clock is really running down here. They're going to molly him, but he's going to molly back. He'll get taken out. Is it going to be enough, though? The defuse coming in. Perfectly timed. You know, Doto had started it before the fire came down. He sacrifices himself. But all the same, he manages to defuse, and it will be a fourth round going the way of Havu.
Really? So here's the thing, though, right? Havu have only been able to keep 2 players alive in every single one of these rounds. The double op survives, but it means that each round is just a fight for their life. Though finally, they're going to get an ego out from Movsitar, so here's their chance to build a little bit of bank. They desperately need it. What's interesting is that B-ramp setup in the previous round, the way it's supposed to work out, right, is the op takes the first shot, so then they're fully focused on the op, and the M4 swings. And that's the timing. That's what you're looking for. Problem was, the op was killed, and then the M4 swings. And at that point, they're like, all right, where's the second coming from? They're ready for it. He does damage, but he kind of splits the difference there on the spray, and it just doesn't work out. So I like the idea of the setup. The execution, not so much. Now you should have a pretty good approach here. There's bodies available for the CTs, but there's players already forward. That's a big pick to find on the site itself for Slowy. And it's just Alex at this point, trying to do some damage. He will find one, but you can't imagine there's much more. And a nade sailing in is the Kobe they need to secure the round and finally have some players survive. So here's where the bank can build. Here's where they can start to make a go of this and start to reinforce the CT side. They are recovering, as you said. They're keeping that B lowercase, not allowing it to get an extra circle curve at the top. I'm trying to think if that actually made any sense. Did that make any sense?
Yeah, I think people can get behind it. Yeah, indeed. All depends on what kind of you know, language you speak and characters you use. Eastor, though, very aggressive, as Movistar Riders love to go for, and this time it works out. That can make all the difference, you know. If they get, I feel like if they get things in favor early on in a round, Movistar Riders have quite a good success rate at closing things out, right? But we'll see. It's the first test that Havu have had for a fair amount of time. An untraded early frag that Movistar Riders are really milking. They're getting so much from it, you know, and just slowing things down. Drawing a lot of attention to the A-bomb site. Havu taking somewhat of a risk. Nice flash goes in and much better pop dog control. So there is that. However, then going for a wide swing straight into the crosshairs of Saw. He's only good for one before he gets traded back. But like I said, there's so many of these Finns around on the A-bomb site. They're kind of now recognizing the fact and thankfully had not committed the bomb. So it does look like they will manage to get that down over on B. Alex. No, what are we doing? Oh, God. An absolute miscalculation coming in. Death is in on that flank, but again, over-aggressive with the bomb plants for whatever reason on the B bomb site. And yeah, Hoodie just savvy to the fact. Beautiful read. But a huge, huge mistake there from Alex, honestly.
He didn't realize that the player had gotten through Z, but that's such a misplay. He just tries to, they try and get too bold again and again and again with the bomb plants. They try and get too bold. Tries to plant and open, make it easier for himself in the post plant. But that's just getting ahead of yourself. Get that bomb down, win the 2v2. Don't worry about, trying to clutch it out and make the hero play, and comes back to bite them. So that is going to be a 6th round for Havu. That was definitely a chance for Movsitar to really put their foot on the throat of the Finnish side, and doing a good job of recovering. It's just going to be SMGs and Galils here, and at this point, Movsitar, they're just making a full effort to get one more round on the board. That's just not looking super likely here. They're very limited. It's going to take a bit of a hero play. The one big change that has been optimistic for them this whole game is their willingness to devote utility to this ladder take. It's been very effective, actually dumping the util down there, flashing behind it, taking the peak. Dodo's had a very rough time of defending the spot. But this time it looks like they don't have too many designs on towards ladder. They're going to group up, get the bomb. It seems like A is going to be the object of their affection. It's a pretty soft A bomb site right this moment. The problem is, of these 3 players, 2 of them are holding AWPs. That's going to make it very tough indeed. Deaths! A drop of smoke. Very forward smoke. A molly might just ruin their plans. It's going to delay them long enough for that util to expire and set them back. 45 seconds. We're starting to get down to the wire as well. This is a problem we saw from them in the previous game. Movsitar just not leaving enough time for their takes. And it seems like it may just be coming back to haunt them again. There's not going to be time here for a rotate if something goes awry on that A-bomb site initially. They're going to be committed to this fight.
See where this ends up. Again, not looking great in terms of the time. So he's holding for the flank. You can do this. As the clock runs down, no one's gone down. You can play in more sort of passive positions and maybe start to read for flanks and things. And ultimately, Movsitar Riders with a desperate attempt on towards the A-bomb site. Sorry, is here. He's clean enough. His teammate goes down, but he uses that to his advantage, and there's no time. There's no time at all, and Sorry is so crisp.
That takes started
so crisp.
18 seconds on the clock.
It's literally like the win condition of that round is like, okay, we're going to run out, and the first guy's going to go bam, 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 and clear the A-bomb site. Like, literally, there's not much else behind it, I don't think. Or at the very least, it's like we find very quick trades and make sure that we're moving forward as we're doing it. It's just not like a reliable game plan, honestly.
Not at all. I think it's coming back to what we were talking about with the slight lack of depth to the Movsitar playbook. They got all their rounds right at the beginning, right? They got 8 rounds. 8-1 was the initial line. Crazy start right out the gates, and then they just slow right up because Havu figures them out. They slow them down, they delay them. In that round, Movsitar was going to go for the IV control, and then the Molotovs in late. They're like, oh, we can't take this. And they had left that take till 45 seconds. So then by the time you get delayed by utility, you're regrouping in towards Decon. By the time they're ready for the hit, 18 seconds. It's just not enough time to work with, and that's just, they're not prepared, they're not ready, they're not snappy enough on the decision-making. Now, if Havu get this pistol, there's a chance to get back into the game, but Movsitar still 8 rounds on the CT side, or on the T side, rather, as they move into their own CT half. It was definitely a good half to start. They just, again, didn't have that depth to carry it through once Havu figured them out.
Oh my goodness. Playing with fire on that one. There's a bit of damage done on towards Doto, but no headshot. That's what they were looking for there. Utility going to come through, though. We'll get to see a bit more of Havu's T side. Okay, and a nice little opener comes in from Doto on that P250 that he himself had bought up. Zori as well has got one. The raid boss. Similar buy, I seem to remember, to the last time we saw them on their T side. However, different bomb site. Zori, clean little crisp shot from him. And again, Movsitar Riders, fast, chaotic, trying a little too hard to, overcompensate and find a way back into the round. And a good couple of players get caught, peeking into 3 or 4 different terrorists, ultimately putting them in a detrimental situation. And Havu going to get the 8th round on the board, getting the ball rolling on the second half. Movsitar Riders have got to check this aggression. They really do. It seems that they have a good run with it, but then they just, the old habits die hard, and they're not great habits to have, unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll see as the half goes on. Again, it is still kind of early days, but we know they have these problems, and they're starting to shine through once again.
Now, the previous match, right, against Trick, it was an 8. They had an 8-7 CT half. Or rather, no, the other way around. They only got 7 rounds on their CT side. And then 1 on the T side. So this CT side is not that strong for Movsitar, or at least wasn't previously. And I'm trying to check to see if they actually won the pistol off of that. The Movsitar side did win the pistol to start their CT side, and they still only got 7 rounds. They got 5 off the back of that, and then they had 2 more the rest of the half. 5 rounds off the back of the pistol, 2 more once that pistol was gone. So they don't start with the pistol here. This is... I mean, this is troubling. This is concerning, right? We saw Movsitar learn from some of their mistakes in the previous game in the T side. We'll see if they've done so in the CT side as well. I seem to remember one of their big issues was just not being able to get the economy healthy. And they force-spotted to this one. They bought scouts, 3 scouts to be fair. And if they don't win this, they're going to be broke as a joke going forward. And there's already 2 quick kills. Make that a 3rd as the Kobe lands. One of the scouts has an answer. But now it's all just deaths coming in from ladder. I think he's made a noise to be sure. Now they definitely know where he is. He'll win that first duel down to 10 health. This could work. Hoodie is going to try and get the bomb plant here, but all it will take is 1 bullet onto either player. Deaths may just have this, but no. At range, the SMG betrays him. Hoodie takes it, and it doesn't matter if it's by an inch or by a mile. They've won the round. Havu have now taken the lead, and Movsitar is again in that situation where they're going to be tempted into force buys and hamstring their economy going forward. They will presumably save here. Yes, okay, the save is on. They're going to go for a bit of a nade stack. Good. They've learned. They've changed it up.
Yeah.
They've got to get those ops out.
Presumably being the keyword. Yeah, no. EU MDL, they love a good force buy. But, okay. It's interesting. It's smart what they've done with their money at this point. Another nade in play. However, positionally, not quite as smart. Doto comes up Ivy, 2 free frags for him, you know, catching them completely off guard. The remaining 3 players, I mean, I would say, you know, save what you've got, but there's not a great deal to save. So going for the exits, looking to do some damage is a fairly good argument as well, and they'll continue to look for said damage. However, now that the AKs are getting involved, it becomes a bit more difficult for sure, and Death's the only one left, not looking like he's going to be able to find anything. At this point, you know, might just as well keep the money away, keep the $300 away from the big bad Havu. CZ's not going to do a great deal for him into the next round, but yeah, I just think it's just the little things, right? That extra $300 could definitely make a difference. Also a confidence thing as well, if everybody's landing their shots, feeling good. You get to a point where if you're fragging really well, you start to play, I feel, you know, slightly different brand of Counter-Strike, just because everything that you're doing ends up working. But here we are. Very, very quickly into the double AWP setup. Yeah, Alex going to be back on it once again. Soka kind of contemplating what he's going to go for. Going to have to be the utility mule for this one and degraded down to the FAMAS. But it shouldn't be too detrimental ultimately. A lot of utility, double AWP setup, going into the full buy of Havu. This is as good a round as any for the Spaniards to win, and a great bit of nade damage to start it off.
Gonna be risky though. The problem is you're banking on the double up paying off, and if you can't keep players alive, it's so hard to sustain. They are going to try though. They're gonna make a move. Molpot so bold through the smoke, catches one on the flank. Might just have a second. He is traded, but the damage has been done by the CT side, and it's looking quite good. That's a meaty nade on Soka. Gonna make his position very uncomfortable indeed on 40 health, but his job is just to sit here on the bomb in the early warning system. He's lost a teammate, has to fall off as a result. There's still the answers from Alex, and the double up is paying dividends. Frags coming left and right, gonna leave everything to Zori, who at this point, the most important role he can have is to do economic damage. If he gets 1, 2 more, that's perfect. 1 is the minimum. 2, excellent. Win the round, give him a gold star, but you don't fancy his chances in 1v3. Still, there is a chance. 50 seconds. Could even maybe snake a bomb plant out here. They've gone super passive. Just allow him to gain space. If Soka drops, he is indeed going to do so. It's just the ops now. 1 more kill, and this is a catastrophe whether they win the round or not. But Easter is up to the task, has the quick shot, has the flick. Zori had a chance to get the bomb plant, but opts instead to go for the duel. That's going to limit Dodo. Everyone else should be able to get a buy, and I expect them to go for it because they know with that double op commitment, they're still going to be on the edge, the Movsitar side. But it is going to be a bit more limited, and here's where you start to see the issues for Havu, because if they lose this one, the score's tied up, and they're ecoing.
Yeah, interesting to note in that previous round, you know, the double up setup was the big issue, right? Havu, no AWP for them. which is not completely foreign going into the first rifle round, you know, not fancying it. But they had 4 AKs, I believe, and only the 1 Krieg, so really not a great deal to deal with the double up setup, and I don't think they were expecting it on top of that. Yeah, we'll see. Execute coming in, something out of the, you know, the back of the playbook, so to speak. Try and pull around through. Nice little wall of smokes here, and yes, indeed, above them, slowly will find one. Tech9 pushing forwards. Des finds himself in between a rock and a hard place. Mopos does have a flank in, but how effective is this actually going to be? Does get 2. He's left on 1 HP. Surely he doesn't get anything else. Hoodie makes sure that he doesn't, and Eastor on that B-bomb site wants nothing to do with it. You know, just the AWP in a 1v3 is not going to go his way, is it? So Havu, when their backs are against the wall, they have brought their sledgehammers. They'll make sure to knock said wall down, and they'll pick up their 11th, not giving Movsitar Riders too much room at all, you know, not giving them the chance back into the game that they were looking for.
I love that response from Havu. That's definitely a read of what Movistar were doing. They're like, all right, our outer hit nearly worked last time. Here's the change. We're going to throw a million smokes so that the ops just can't get any long-range angles. We're going to make it so difficult. We're going to condense sight lines and just overwhelm on the bomb train. We're not going to get timid, because last round, there was sort of an initial take phase where they took control towards outer yard, and then they slowed down to try and find the picks around the bomb train, and that's where they all got picked apart. This time, they just slam right onto that bomb train. They've already got a player in Z connector by the time the bomb's going down, and that's where the kills come through. And so it just deletes it. And here's the problem. When you're going for the double up, it's expensive. They only kept 2 alive in the previous. That's just 5, but deaths. Okay, 2 quick dig shots. That'll at least give them a shot into this round, a shout of an opportunity. The bomb will already be planted. There's a player moving forward. Eastor, only big gun here, but as we've seen, the hand cannons may be enough. Slowy catches the first. Will at least secure CT. So that can't come through. And this Molly may just make the decision for them. I think it's probably going to be a save. No kid available. You want to keep that op alive into the next round. Going to be a conservative call. They did the damage. It seemed like they might have a glimmer of an opportunity, but now they're just going to get the heck out of dodge and kick the can down the road. It will be 12 for Havu, but here we should see a buy come back from Movistar, and the double up should be available once more.
Yeah, it's fair. They do some damage, keep the economy modest, but not wanting to commit everything that they had to that round. But this is where it counts. This is super important round. Crunch time for Movistar Riders for sure. They need to be getting this one on the board. Cannot reiterate that enough. The double up setup once again comes into play, but I feel like Havu this time around going to be expecting it, going to be ready for it, and not going to fall flat to it. You know, they were able to overcome it a second time around. Now, third time. Let's see how it goes. Not too bad in terms of the buy for the rest of the players either on the Movistar Riders side. However, once again, Havu sending a lot of utility outside, keeping the CTs guessing, but it doesn't look like that's the bomb site they're going to commit to, although I think at this point, Havu themselves are not 100% sure where they want to go.
We really haven't seen much interplay from them yet. The adjustment here from Movistar early on is good. It's going to be a quick frag, though. Easter's trying to get an answer back, but he's bottled out. The smoke down the molly as well is going to make this retake so difficult. With 4 alive, the bomb is going to be planted, and forward positions are held by the T's as well. A little bit bold, I would say, from Saw. He doesn't quite have a player close enough to Z to really allow for that, but now he does. Now they've got it. Dodo could just hold here as the turret, and it's going to be a save. So conservative from Movistar. But here's the problem with the double up. Again, I've talked about it. It's so expensive. So this is what they're doing. A 4-on-4, and they're saving. Because they just don't feel like they have the utility to battle back in with this double up. They feel like they either need to hold up this take right on the front, or it's over. They're going to even lose Mopod, so that's a little bit more bank out. This is such a tough situation. Havu now knows that they're on the retreat. They can hunt entirely. They can just throw some guns at it to get these out of their hands. And this is going to be a 13th rounder. And this is just, there's just not enough strength behind the CT side. It's either they win it with the double up initially, or they're in rough waters. Easter finds the first. Can he get the second as well? Can he get the third? He will indeed. Up to the task. Easter will survive, will sustain their buy, and that's critical. There will be a buy on the other side, no problem. But he keeps his op alive. He gives them a fighting chance into this next round.
As you kind of mentioned, though, so there's the one issue is the cost of the double up setup. The second issue, I feel, is kind of high number retakes, if that makes sense. So a 4-on-4 in that situation where there's no ease of trade, as it were. You know, where it's like, okay, so the AWP's going to ring off a shot, maybe finds one, but then Havu, someone swings out and takes it down. It's very difficult to deal with that. If you're in kind of like a 2-on-2 or maybe you have the advantage yourself, it becomes a lot easier, but not quite the case. Not quite the case. However, this is where it flourishes. You take those long-range fights on most of the angles on this map, you end up losing because, I mean, more often than not, there's going to be an AWP holding it. The rifles themselves are a little more passive, as we see from Death. He will get tagged down slightly, but is able to get away with a bit of information in tow. So not a bad start at all from Movsitar Riders coming into what could be quite possibly the most important round in the game for them, to be honest. If Havu were able to take this one, I think they really start to run away with it, especially if they take it, you know, cleanly, in the sense that they take it picking up everybody or the majority of the players on the CT side. But another frag going to come in and a 2-man setup over here. Oh, the timing going to be everything, though. A nade in hand. Hoodie catches one off guard, the second off the back of it, and it's now brought back into a 3-on-3. And again, Darth Mike, we've got the double AWP retake. It's not going to be ideal for the CTs in a situation like this.
Not even sure they want to go for it. I think they're finding at this point they've got to try something, because otherwise you're just gonna let these rounds slip away. But no, they don't want to. Easter's pulling back. Utilities being put down to make them uncomfortable as well. No one is forward at this point. They have kits at the very least, but they've got to move now if they want to take it. They don't even have smoke, so they wouldn't be able to cover it off. If a Molly came in and turned, that's the end of it. Easter hasn't inched out of the Z connector, and he'll just go ahead and fade away. 1 kill to his name, 3 kills in the round for his team, and a 14th round for Havu. It doesn't matter whether they get these last rounds by an inch or a mile. As long as they're winning them, they're keeping that pressure on, and they're inching closer to victory. This is so rough. There will be a buy coming back here. It can even be the double op as well. But at this point, I don't think the double op's the answer. Havu have figured out the adjustment, even when they lost that initial pick to the op, which, as you said, is how they want to play. There was just the response, which was the hit inner. And that double setup. We saw that double setup towards B halls once in the previous game from Movsitar, except that time it was with pistols. This time it's with rifles, but again, they just don't trust it enough, right? You have to have that player watching towards halls. Otherwise, you're both up the river, and they just mistime it. The player watching halls looks away, anticipating the play from inner, and gets destroyed. And they both get erased, and once that's gone, once that kind of gimmicky setup is gone, they've got nothing into the round. These gimmicks aren't working out. Now Slowy's going to take 2, nearly found a 3rd, did some damage onto it. They're already at a deficit going into this as they try and battle to keep Havu off of map point. They've got the double op as well, so it's not a mobile buy again. Easter and Alex, someone's going to need to make a dynamic play. Someone's going to need to go ham here. Death's solo towards inner, and they're grouping up for this inner hit. Maybe he gets 1. If they're really lucky, he gets 2. But you just don't fancy his chances to take more than that. Gonna step into the angle, does find the first, but there's the immediate swing. The op's in position to trade, but they are down and in towards the site, and this is where the situation gets rough. The retake with the double op. Bomb has to cross, and there isn't utility to cover it off, to be fair, but Easter is going to falter, and this is a catastrophe. Alex trying to make it through, trying to make the hero play to keep them off of it. But he is going to be caught here in a moment from the flank, and that's the round 1. The money destroyed to boot. Havu have secured round number 15. They need 6, or 1 more rather. They've got 6 attempts to do it to take this through. And Movsitar, their CT side has just looked so limp. They've got nothing here, and Havu is beating them back and forth, kicking them up and down the alleyway like a old tin can.
It's really weird to see this Movsitar Riders team, you know, seem to have very little efficiency with their gas tank, if that makes sense, in the sense that it's like they can really get going really quickly. A lot of rounds picked up very fast in these 2 games that we've seen them play this evening. It was like 6-0 as well against Tricks, looking really good. And then they just completely run out of gas and drop way behind in the proverbial race. And yeah, it's just kind of happened here again. Looking good, bringing things close after the first half. Havu need to pull things out on their T side, and they've done so. Movsitar Riders kind of give them the room to do so. You know, again though, look good early on in the second half with a double up setup, but just not very consistent. We'll see. Speed is the name of the game from Havu in this round, and not working out perfectly. 3-on-3 very early on. They've got a flank here at Pop Dog, but they're not committing too heavily. However, the timing absolutely perfect from Death. Picks up an easy double, not quite the triple. Tagging off Hoodie before he escapes. It looks like, though, they will hang on for just a little while longer here on the CT side of things. See, Hoodie, all right, he's waiting for the rotations to come in, playing it aggressive. I mean, he's got to find something, right? He's got to be proactive. There's someone coming in from behind him as well. No kits, interestingly enough, but yeah, every time he swings out, he takes more and more damage. Would be pretty incredible if he can pull this off. No. Oh, no, not like this. Surely not. Alex is above him. He's got no idea, and yeah, at the very least, it doesn't end like that from Movsitar Riders. 5 more in a row required from them. For now, they're hanging on. We're not quite believing just yet.
No, the way they won that round makes me believe less, if that makes sense. They're in a 3v1. They give up 2 of the kills. This is the second round they've won on their CT side. The second round. That's insane to me. That is insane for this Movsitar side, that you're operating at such a deficit here. They are going to have the AWP at least retrieved, but honestly, the op just hasn't been that big of an asset for him. These kills have been too few and far between in the second half for Easter to really be an impact player. He is leading his team, but I think that's more of a depressing statistic considering how unsuccessful most of these op kills have led to in terms of rounds. And once again, you're going to see the advantage for Havu because there's just so much economic damage done in the last. You've got 2 SMGs out. You've got limited utility. They do have 3 kits at the very least, but there's a FAMAS on deaths, and once again, they can just choose a site, apply the pressure, and see what shakes out. And it seems that they found this weakness towards inner. At least there's an adjustment here, and coming through the smoke, Easter should feast. This is where the op should be strongest, but they're already forward. Deaths holding strong. Easter doing the damage. Finally, a round it looks like it should on the CT side. They're making this work. It's all on Dodu. And I don't believe he's going to be able to get the requisite damage here. He'll be flanked out in a moment and should be all over. It is indeed an upgrade available for those SMGs as well. Movsitar, this is the best round we've seen from them this entire half.
Yeah, and it comes very, very late on. However, they force Havu to make some difficult economic situations and decisions at the end of the day. Deagle's in play. Just a 1 P250, so really not an awful lot. No utility to speak of. Just going to be ecoing things out for the most part. Still got to respect these Deagles, especially on a map like Train. They can do an awful lot of damage. Right on cue, in comes Hoodie. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. That's an AWP going to be dropped as well, so they've got to keep an eye on that towards Ivy, and it spreads the defense a little thin here for the CT side. And I think they're also ultimately unsure whether Havu have gone for it, you know, with like a fully fledged buy or not. And yeah, really no idea where these T's have gone. They're just going to run the clock down. I think that may work out for them at the very least to get a bomb plant, right? Run the clock down, catch some players off guard just by overwhelming them with the numbers, with the pistols. You never know. It could give them a good opportunity. I feel at the very least to do some damage. Maybe get the bomb plant. Very slim chance that they take the round because, yeah, as soon as you kind of show yourself, you're just going to get taken down by the superior weaponry at the end of the day. Not really looking like those crazy ones going to come in.
We've seen so many rounds where Movsitar got impatient. This time they're not playing it in. That's going to be a bomb plant, though. They're going to get it. They do the bomb plant. Any more damage would be gravy on top of it. Don't think they're going to find much at all. There's not Molotovs to clear out this angle, so Saw can kind of be a nuisance. But with the block, you just can't imagine the damage coming through. It's left to Hoodie to maybe find one more frag here on the post, or maybe sneak away a rifle. And admittedly, they'll give him a chance. Soaker going to run it down and make sure that that doesn't quite happen. So defuse through, Movsitar play that round well. Only potential issue is that they did give up the bomb plant. It would have been a buy regardless for Havu, but this just means they're a little bit more comfortable. They've got the op. They've got all the utility in the world. They can do whatever they want in this round. And indeed, that is what they're going to do. Interestingly, still only one Krieg. And it's the classic double op setup from Movsitar. Let's see what the adjustment is from Havu. They hit inner repeatedly, right? They hit inner repeatedly. Finally, Movsitar figured out how to check it with that close op from Easter, supported by deaths at the spools. Now what's the adjustment here? What's the change up from the Finnish squad? How are they going to make this different? Aggression out from Movsitar. They take T-Con early on at the cost of a little bit of health on the feet of Mopaz. He's going to burn his toes, but Hoodie tries to punish from ladder. He's going to get caught as a result, so not quite what they were hoping for there. Soaker's going to retake some aggression as well. Just hem them into the ladder room. Try and control the space.
Pretty well read. in all honesty, from Csgo particularly. You know, he's like, okay, we're making a lot of noise in T-Con. Surely a push is going to come through from the side. So yeah, really well done from him to find that opening frag. Relatively easy as well. An interesting flashbang, to say the least. Timing can be everything. Slowy just about creeps away, just about gets away. But he's sort of robbed of the frag. I think if he'd have stood on top of that dumpster a little longer, he would have found himself a nice early one. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. The final 40 seconds, thereabouts, of this round. Movsitar Riders still with that man advantage. However, if they can get into B, find the trades, get the bomb down, I mean, there's a possibility, isn't there? Oh, especially if an individual is able to step up like this. Slowy will find two. Are they going to move towards A? It looks like they are via Pop Dog. They will lose a man on the adventure. Retrieve an AWP, however, and it's still a 3-on-3. Spoke too soon. Everybody getting mowed down on the outside bomb site fairly easily. And Movsitar Riders, again, bit dicey towards the end. Pressure definitely on. Starting to panic, starting to sweat. And yet they perform under said pressure, so it's going to come all the way down to the wire, and an overtime is certainly possible here.
It's well within the realm. I think this is a very different Movsitar Riders. They've settled in a way that we hadn't seen previously. They're not being baited in. Obviously, Havu there was trying to wait for aggression, trying to see what had happened, and there was that first calculated aggression in towards T-Con. Then once they've done that, nothing. They sit, they're going to wait, they're going to let Havu play into it. They're going to let Havu see what they can do. Slowy gets those 2 picks, but by that point, so much time has run down on the clock that they're forced in the angles, and it's the same issue we saw from Movsitar last game. This time for Havu. Mopaz take that first kill early on. Here's the smokes outer, and honestly, I was looking for this play since it was so effective previously. The problem is this time, all they got behind it are SMGs, and Movsitar figured out how to compensate. They go high to get above the smoke. Mopaz now just tapping players down, will eventually fall, but it's an easy cleanup for his teammates, and now it's one more round. One more round to close this out. Is this going to be overtime? Or are Havu going to find one more burst in their gas tank to get through? We've gone the full 30 here, Harvey. See if they can close it out.
That's the question. That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We'll see. I mean, it would be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? But with the pressure on, you know, teams can crumble. Especially on the CT side of things. They've got to be very careful. They've got to make sure that they find clean, clear openings here. Not get too aggressive. Nobody wants to be that player to make the mistake. A relatively interesting kind of pop-heavy setup. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alex thought it was on the off angle, but Zori with the contact AWP is able to take him out. No wide swings coming in, not in a round like this. Slow, methodical, clinical from Havu to begin with. And well, that's the pick they're going to try and run away with. That's the pick that they're going to try and really stretch out. They have lost team mid control for it, but all the same, they've got the early advantage. They have everything that they need to set this round up here. It is their round to lose, and therefore, it becomes their game to lose.
You can see how spread they are as well. These players are isolated. The only real crossfire they have potentially is towards Ivy, but that's going to be relying on Soaker looking the right direction at the right time, and it's going to be an inner hit instead, and they've gone so passive. That was admittedly the flank out from Slowy. He's going to be at least tempered for a moment, but now Death has so much weight on his shoulders. They're already into the bomb site. Death isn't going to be able to deny this. It's going to be a retake setup. The fast flank is available through ladder, but they still got players up in the B hall. Bomb will be planted here for sure, and that's a big kill to find from Mopaz. He's trying to press for more. There's somebody watching his angle, but he's found it anyways. Mopaz coming up huge for his team just when they needed him, and the flash is perfect. Mopaz with 3 already and still some control up here. This is huge. He will eventually be cleaned out, but it's a 2v3. He's set his team up for success. Now they just need to tap it through. It's a question of whether they can. It's all going to be on towards Slowy. The defuse is already coming in. This should be over. We're getting overtime here. And indeed it is. Slowy can't deny. Didn't hear the defuse in. And that is going to be 15-15. Our last match of the show going to be going through for some extra rounds. It was just too good. They couldn't let us wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, timing everything there. You know, I always say it, talk about the game of inches. It definitely is at that point. Slightly faster on the flank, so he could have made all the difference, denying Mopaz the chance into that round. But Perfect 2K coming in from him, then a great flash to follow up to find the third. That small opportunity that arose. Movsitar Riders play it perfectly. Full potential of that play. And Havu got to be feeling kind of disheartened after the way that things have ended up going. It was, what, 15-9, I believe?
Yeah.
Should have been their game. Should have been their game by now. And Movsitar Riders really riding on a high, and they can breathe that sigh of relief. Not quite as much pressure on their shoulders coming into these next few rounds, depending on how things go. But, you know, they have the momentum, they have the confidence, they feel like this is now their opportunity in their game, and really great comeback being mounted from them. Certainly making it difficult for themselves, but all the same, credit where credit is due. They look really, really strong towards the end of regulation. A lot of those rounds, pretty much no contest. You know, they survived with 3 at the end, and every round seemed to be going their way relatively easily.
What's interesting for me as well is Havu slowed the pace way down, right? That double op is being played by Movsitar. And for a while, Havu was just bullying them out of it with fast takes, with hits, with utility. And then Movsitar starts to adjust. They send players on top of the train cards to get over the smokes to anticipate the executes. They're playing the op closer. They're playing the op further away. And Havu, I think in trying to figure out what was going on there, slowed the pace way down. And that really played into what Movsitar was trying to do in terms of delaying time, allowing the ops more opportunities to get those picks, allowing them more chances to take the angles. So I'd be interested to see what Havu have coming out of the gates here. Whether we go back to that really fast play, or whether they're going to slow it down again and see if their single op can open something up. Movsitar, as you said, so much momentum on their favor. And now we're going to get underway. The first round of overtime. See how we want to do. They're going to send some presence early on towards B, but it seems like smokes outer and potentially a fast hit. Bombs transition to join up with the squad outside ladder. Maybe an outer hit indeed, but the Molotovs from the Movsitar side can slow them down. So this take is at least put on pause for the moment. There's still 3 smokes available, and here's going to be the second salvo. So it is going to be an outer yard take, just full utility behind it. They do have control of the ladder. Soaker up close. They've overlooked his position. They've gone past him, but Saw won't make the same mistake. Gets the double check. Here's 2 big kills for Saw, a bomb plant as well, and this is looking fantastic for them to take the first round of overtime.
I mean, what do you do here? This is the thing with the double up setup. Even into the 16K, it's fairly expensive to keep it rolling, especially if you lose the second round as well. So they're just going to back away and save. So there we are. There is nothing they can do. It really does come close in some of those exchanges. You know, Saw left on low HP, Hoodie on half. Definitely could have swung the way of Movsitar Riders, but not going to be the case. Havu finally get their 16th on the board.
Right.
Albeit a little late, but that'll feel good for them that it's like, okay, we're not completely down and out. We do still have the ability to win rounds, and you never know. Again, another thing for them is kind of the pressure is eased somewhat, is off their shoulders coming into the overtime, although not quite in the same way. You just kind of have to not feel disheartened about it. Use the sort of anger and the aggression and everything that you've built up over all those rounds that you were losing. Nothing was working, and just kind of come into overtime all guns blazing. That's what they've done. Pulled out a bit of an execute, going to go for it again, and we'll see. Is the success rate going to continue to go their way? We'll have to find out. I mean, I don't know. Movsitar Riders, how do they answer back here? Finding the opening pick? That's certainly a good way of doing things.
This is something that Mopaz has had some consistent success with as well. Is just keeping them checked out of T-Con, at least initially. Take's going to be on. They're going to be trying to crunch in, and this Ivy presence is a big piece of it. But that's going to come down to timing, because Alex is still holding. Slowy somehow slides under his crosshair and finds the headshot in turn. This makes it very awkward indeed for the remaining CTs. They don't have any control back towards Ivy. You're going to see the compensation here as Easter's coming back to try and secure Old Bomb, try and secure the Ratman towards spawn. And to be fair, he might just get this pick. This would be massive if he finds the back exposed. Give them a chance here. He will indeed do so. And now this gets hard for the T's. They didn't react quickly off the back of their initial advantage. Might get more of an opportunity. Dodo keeping the numbers close, though. That's information. The bomb wasn't spotted. Now it'll be retrieved. Sori is going to go ahead and take that, and might just take that towards the inner site instead. Indeed, that's what they're going to do. They're regrouping. They're changing it up. And they're going to go for this interplay. There's very little time, 30 seconds. This has to work. There is no second chance. There is no do-over. And Saw wasn't making enough noise on A to get them to stick around. This is the adjustment from Movsitar. They are in position without a doubt. 20 seconds now, but they rotate off. No, the timing is brutal. They're going to go back out. That'll be a bomb plant secured. Now we go into the post plant. 14 seconds or no, it doesn't matter if you get those numbers punched down. And here's an easy kill for Dodu. Now they're locked out of sight. They've got to get all the way back through. They're going to make sure that upper halls is secure for Havu as well. And Dodu once again is forward, and that's a blindside shot and a lined-up spray. 17 rounds and just nothing for Movsitar in that post plant.
Yeah, you really hate to see that. That is so unfortunate. A missed call, a risky call, some might say. And then just the fact that, you know, the advanced position from Doto completely overlooked. And he gets 2 easy frags off the back of it, which, you know, going to make all the difference. He steps up in a big way. They get a little lucky. But importantly, they now have a 2-round lead. They win the majority of the rounds here on their T side. And it's looking good going into the final round of this first half as well. Hoodie going to take down Mopos, catching him completely off guard, a little bit faster to the mark. And it looks like, once again, Havu are going to have an advantage, similar to the way that they did in the first round of overtime here. Going to look to press the advantage, press the attack, keep on moving forwards. Another kill comes in, another kill comes in. It is not looking too good, and Doto is still here around Pop Dog to make sure that there's no cheeky shenanigans from a flank. So, Soka going to be the only one left. I mean, can't really save. Final round, got to try and go for the 1v5, and oh, that's unfortunate. Just outside of the headshot range there of the Org. Tagging down Zori to 1 HP. A flawless first half of overtime, and Movsitar Riders really going to have to pick it up on their T side. It certainly looked good to begin with, but dropped off, and it has been a while since they were here on the T side. But ultimately, again, that pressure that they seem to perform very well under is back on their shoulders. Let's see, 3 in a row required to take us to another overtime from the Spaniards.
It is a major concern, right? It's just because that second half, right, on their own T side, they came out the gates, they got 8 rounds, 8-1, very rapidly, and then they got nothing because Havu figured out the formula and Movsitar didn't adapt, didn't have any sort of change in there. So the question is, at this point now going into overtime, do you fall back to that old formula that got you the initial 8, or do you change things up? Do you have something to change things up too? Because presumably Havu's going to say, all right, they're going to do exactly what they did in the first half. We just need to win 1 round. We can do that. So let's play what we were doing. Let's play the compensation that we had and see what happens. Now, the change-up here for the T side would be if they went for the double op. They're not going to do it. Just a single op on Easter. And let's see what they can get. Double op, of course, on the other side. Zori and Slowy going to be picking up those big green guns. And it's looking like we're going to see some initial play towards Ivy. This was something that we saw from them in the first half as well. Was the 2 ops sort of back-to-back out towards Ivy, and Slowy's already found the first pick. That's massive. There's 2 more there as well. He's got information to boot here. The bomb is here. I'm not sure if he spotted that, but if he did, it's certainly just about all over. And this is looking catastrophic. 2 big players out of the round, Easter and Datsu, have both been big performers for the squad, and one by one, they are all faltering. Finally, a trade back from Mopaz at least, but it's a 2v3. Make that just the 1 play for the hero move. Alex's spot is known. He'll get some tags onto Saw. He's got to make his way out here, and that's a misplay from Saw. Didn't need to take that fight, but did so. That might just give Alex a hope into this round. It was looking disastrous, but he's brought it back at least somewhat close. And he's got a minute to play with, so he doesn't have to take this fight at all. He's going to completely reposition and get out of here. But look at Hoodie. Look at what Hoodie's done. He's worked his way all the way through. Is Alex going to have any idea? No, he'll be running with his knife out. Caught. And what an unceremonious way to be dropped is Hoodie just killing you with your knife out, sprinting. No idea in the world that you're about to be fragged. And that is going to be the 19th round. What great play from Havu. Honestly surprised they didn't close it out in regulation, but they fixed their mistake in overtime. They absolutely dominated once overtime hit. And Movsitar, again, they just did not have the depth. They did not have the changeup. They did not have the preparedness to really be able to deal with this. Train, clearly a difficult map for them. There's things to learn from, and they did learn over the course of our show. But there's a lot more work to do to make that a strong one.
Yeah, and you kind of have to look to how much is it Havu kind of getting complacent, slipping up, letting the pressure get to, you know, all those bad kind of things. I think it's a combination of the two. It's not just that Movsitar Riders, you know, were so incredible on that comeback, right, and had such an incredible CT side. I think there was a little bit of also Havu slipping up, and they realized it going into overtime. they were able to recover things back. And I think ultimately that game, although not quite as one-sided, was very similar to the game that Movistar Riders had against Tricked, in the sense that, as we've said throughout, as you just kind of mentioned there, as soon as the adaptation came in, Movistar Riders not really changing things up. And the formula becomes stale, and it becomes easy for Havu to figure out what's going to happen to deal with the relentless aggression that Movistar Riders like to dish out. But after a very long final game and a quick 2 to start us off, that is going to be it for the evening. The 3 games this evening, all on train, a few familiar faces, and a lot to go off of. Some of the teams improving as it went on, some of the teams kind of falling off. But like I say, that is going to be it from us. We will be done for this evening. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you, Darth Mike, for joining me, of course. And we'll see you in the
Anytime.
next one.